Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Gospel Tea. I'm Standra.
I'm Tyra.
And we have an awesome show planned for you guys today. Hopefully you got your mugs. Tyra, you got your mug?
I do.
And so our mugs are representing our respective sorority organizations. I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Tyra?
I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Chapter.
Wonderful. And so, Tyra, what are you sipping on today?
Wow, so many things, but I think most immediately I'm sipping on the trials of potty training. You know, I think back and I thought, oh, this dissertation defense is really hard. I laugh now. I laugh at my dissertation because potty training is not for the weak and faint of heart. And I feel like a failure, like every day you think you're getting good. You think this is going to be the day. This is going to be the breakthrough moment. And it's not. So I think yesterday we managed to do half of a potty visit all day long. And that's after we spent like half of the day in the potty, like in the bathroom. I spent half of my life in the bathroom. I've got musical instruments. I've got potty videos. I'm reading Chicka Chicka Boom Boom on the toilet. We're doing all kind of things. Once we get off that toilet, that's when all the real action happens.
That's when the magic happens. Well, so when you say a half of a potty visit, that would suggest that the other half of the visit happened somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I really, and I wish I could identify. I wish there were some words I could give you, but I can't. I was blessed and fortunate to come along my motherhood journey after potty training year, for the most part, or completed. So I can't identify. I can only imagine the struggle. But you're in the right place because today's episode.
Tell us.
We're calling today's episode #2020 because we're going to be talking about all of the shenanigans that 2020 has brought to us. And your potty training woes fit right in there with some of the other crap we have had to deal with this year. No pun intended, but it was. Yeah. So let's get to #2020.
The year that keeps on giving.
Oh. The Bible talks about in Ecclesiastes the seasons, right? There's a season, there's a time and a season for everything. And apparently, 2020 was the time and the season for a lot of things. I think back to New Year's Eve, right? 2019, December 31st, you're counting down. You're looking forward. This is a year we've all been with 2020. Oh my. Mm-hmm. Oh my. We were waiting, anticipation. And 2020 in January came out swinging and snatching lives, right? Just gutted from the get-go, right? And here we are 10 months later, and 2020 is still at it. Still at it. So one of the biggest things, of course, started the year, we dealt with COVID, right? And we're still dealing with COVID-19, coronavirus. That in of itself, right? That should be enough.
Yeah.
2020. That should just been it. But what? So in COVID land, Tyra, what have you experienced with COVID? What things has COVID brought to you in 2020?
It's interesting because, and I just wanted to say, this #2020, there's so many things we can't even do one episode. So it would probably this is part one of I don't know how many parts, right?
Right.
But, and it's like, if you just think about the different topics, absolutely COVID. And I think, there's just the incredible sadness around the lives that have been taken by this virus, right? And you keep wrapping your mind around it. I remember in the beginning, it was the countdown clocks on all the major news networks, or or the tickers, right, of how many deaths, how many of cases and things like that. And you just see this number continuing to rise. And at a point, I think it got to a point where it affected all of us. Like at some point, if you hadn't gotten COVID, you knew someone, a loved one, a friend, and everyone's story was completely different, right? It could have been your friend that found out and never had a symptom, or it could have been your loved one who passed away, right? And so that has been really challenging. I think on the heavier side of this, I feel like the adjustments we've had to make have been very interesting. You and I are in, I don't know if we're still considered, but we've been in COVID hotspots, right? Standra lives in Texas. I live in Florida. It feels like at some point we were in a neck-to-neck race of who get out COVID the other one, you know.
I think the beaches of Florida got us though, because y'all wouldn't stay put.
Yeah, we might have pulled ahead of you. And so I think that we have very different or unique perspectives coming from places that I think still are hotspots, as opposed to others, right? Like our stories and situations wouldn't be maybe the same as someone that's living in Montana or Wyoming or other places with very low numbers. But I think living in a place with high numbers has been a heightened sense of, what is going on, how, you know, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of frustration, and trying to figure out and really navigate what's the best choices you can make, you know, for your family and for yourself. And I feel like I've been in that. What about you?
Oh, definitely. One of the things, you know, COVID has brought to our lives, especially for me with 3 school-age children, 2 middle schoolers and 1 high schooler, is the phenomenon of virtual schooling. This, again, it could be enough. Like, that's enough, 2020. Sit down somewhere. So virtual schooling in this household, so I work from home most of the time already, even outside of COVID. And so bringing in additional people into my space throughout the day has been a bit challenging. And so, you know, you have a constant, you know, you got Zoom meetings, you're trying to get kids logged into every platform they're supposed to be in, turn in your things. So it's like trying to raise 3 independent college students, right, who are not at the college level just yet, but they're being given these big responsibilities. So that's one thing, you know, I would say, you know, definitely COVID has kind of changed for us, is just that virtual schooling and, you know, of course, trying to keep everybody safe. You know, schools are dealing with it right now. You know, do we open back up? You know, do we allow everybody to come back in face to face? How can you socially distance in classes that were already overcrowded? Right. So, you know, you have this, you have the side of the debate. It's like, you know, everybody needs to open back up. Oh, it's no big deal. Let's get the kids back to school and get everything back to normal. Well, number one, we probably shouldn't go back to normal, because normal is how we got here. Right. So let us not rush back to normal. Wash your hands. Let's start there. Right. Because normal, y'all wasn't washing your hands. So there's all these, you know, and so when will schools open back up? How will they open back up? When they open back up, and some are, what are their protocols going to be? I have seen several incidences where the kids are back in school, COVID shows up, right? So someone has COVID, coronavirus has infected them, and there is no protocol, right? We're not shutting nothing down. We're just going to keep rolling in business. That wasn't the agreement. Over the summer, when everyone was chanting that we got to open these schools back up, part of the agreement was that there would be some sort of system in place that once someone is infected with COVID, that we would do something different. Quarantine, change, shut something down, but none of that is happening. And so you'll see the cases rising. There's a couple of schools in Oklahoma, right? So 200 cases, you know, easy, but we're going to keep rolling. We're just going to keep showing up. So for me, that's been a big one, as dealing with, you know, how this is impacting kids and schools and parents and working and all these things. And there are no easy answers, right? I happen to be in the position where I can keep my kids here. I realize that everybody's not in that position, right? And so my heart definitely goes out to them as well.
Yeah, you know, I think you and I are both in that situation of having the opportunity and being, to be able to work from home. But, you're right. I'm in a Bible study, and I have educators in my Bible study who are just, really fearful because, we live in a social system. So you have, they're fearful because they don't feel like there's a plan that's really in place that advocates for their safety, because they're not only, wanting to make sure that the children are safe and having a safe learning environment. They need to stay well because they have their own children and family, and they're caregivers too, maybe seniors in their family or what have you. Absolutely. But it's such a connected kind of system that you can't just, there's far reach of the choices and decisions being made. And, it's just a matter of us also supporting and being prayerful and really helping people where we can, those, that we know that are going through this. But it's huge. It's the stress levels in homes, and then you're thinking, we're talking about your general normal scenario. And, it's not even even if we started to think about the children who are not in safe homes, or homes that weren't safe places before COVID, before the crazy of 2020. And so those are, incredible challenges to think about. And, your heart just goes out to people, really. And you feel absolutely. Like, yeah, absolutely. So, big things there. Let's lighten it on COVID.
Okay.
If you can.
Real quick though, shout out to the teachers, because teachers are working. They are hard-working individuals, even outside of COVID, but even more so now because we are asking a lot of them. And yes, parents, we're asking a lot of parents too, but that's where the partnership comes, right? We all got to work together. So shout out to the teachers. Sorry. Yes, let's lighten it though.
Sandra's an educator, you guys. She's not currently, but she always will, forever hard. Well, she is currently not in a paid capacity.
But my mom's a teacher. My mom's still out there doing the thing again. Retirement.
Yep.
We don't know. We'll see.
Miss Doris, tell us the mystery date. Yeah. It's always coming though. It's always coming.
Yeah. But yeah, let's light it. What you got? What behaviors have you observed during these COVID times? Right? There's been some stuff going on.
So let's just do our top 3, because we both live in some very colorful places. I don't know what other how to scripture to put on there. Everyone knows about Florida. We provide so much humor for the nation. You're welcome. Right? Everyone's welcome. So let's do top 3 things that we've heard of or we've talked about and just said, what in the world? I think one of the biggest ones that we both got a real chuckle out of was people who are cheating in COVID. Number 3, who's cheating in COVID?
Who has the time, energy, and immune system?
Oh, come on, somebody sit down with your I don't know if it's infidelity, but whatever, because if it's a boyfriend,
you're out here living foul.
But you
sir.
We saw that. I don't know how we came across the story, or it was a topic, but it's like, this people are really cheating. People are out in these dangerous, highly infectious COVID streets trying to hook up. I mean, it's generally, it's a 50-50. It's a game. It's a Russian roulette when you're out there dating like that. You know what I mean? Without COVID, and now you have COVID. It just increased. Yeah.
COVID should have been yet another barrier to you. COVID should have been that thing that said, no, I'm not going to.
Not right now.
Step out. You shouldn't even be out the house. Right? You had stay-at-home orders. You were doing this during stay-at-home orders. And you know who you are. So yeah, I mean,
bless them. God bless them.
So yeah, step 1, cheating. Who's out here cheating?
Right.
Why you got to be out here cheating?
Just take care of yourself. Take care of others. You can resume it if you need to. I don't know if that's what you're doing after COVID. Just have a,
I mean, I don't think he ever stopped. I think he just kept,
Right. It's just, I'm going to roll into this. Right. I'm going to roll into this new season with my behaviors. So yeah, that was
That's one. That's one. For me, again, there's two sides of this debate, but the masks, right? Wearing of the masks. I couldn't believe, number one, that mask wearing became so politicized, right? Like, hey, here's something we need you to do to help keep everybody safe and healthy. And that thing just blew up. Mm-hmm. And so, you got the people who are wearing their masks. Me and my family, if we do go out, we wear a mask. Mm-hmm. But I'm observing this wearing of the mask thing isn't quite going the way it should, because people aren't wearing their mask fully, right? Yes. It should go over your mouth and your nose. And it should cover. I saw yesterday, people, they had the mask under the chin.
The chin strap mask.
Chin strap. What are we doing? And you're talking to someone else who also has their mask under their chin. And it's like, you just one more step, but everybody could be protected. So yeah, that's something on my list is just, we're wearing the mask, but we're not. And I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Not sure why. Yeah. I got masks for days, right? I went a little overboard and have the washable mask, and I have the, the throwaway mask. I got masks because I can't.
Yes.
I can't allow COVID to come in here, right? This is a COVID
no more problems. You get to a point, you're like, 2020, I don't want no more problems. Right. I need to do my part. Listen, hey, I gotta put some protective boundaries around myself. My thing about the mask phenomenon is that, it's not unreasonable, right? The Bible talks about something that, like, what are the things that are a reasonable service? It's not unreasonable. It's not like we've been asked to do a biochemical cleanse each day before we leave our homes and put on hazmat suits.
Right.
Like, it's a piece of thin,
strap it on
material, and it's I'm still just baffled by that, why I can't, it's taken,
and I'm because I'm thinking the whole time, if they could do it on Handmaid's Tale, why we can't do it?
Future episode, we love Handmaid's Tale, and
I'm just saying, we're getting closer and closer. We're getting closer.
Some alarming similarities to real life and our Handmaid's Tale. It's true.
You better start figuring out which role you're gonna play, though. I'm just. We'll come back to that.
Yes, if you're not familiar, watch a trailer, and then that way you'll be kind of like you'll have the synopsis of the show.
Yeah, please, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Outside of this mass situation, I think maybe another kind of funny, humorous thing that people are doing that I find humorous is particularly in the Black culture, where women, we've always been about our hair, our crowns. Listen, hey, that's a serious matter. Very serious. It was serious before COVID. It's serious during COVID. It does not matter that we may not be going anywhere, but wherever we may be, our hair will be right. And I know that people, even before, when there was lockdown measures, they were going, really coming undone about not being able to get to the hair salon. And then, now we're all in these various phases of reopening and things like that. So Black women are collectively breathing a sigh of relief. But around this hair situation, I heard things about like, you better wash the COVID out your hair, right? Women were getting rid of very expensive, high quality weaves for fear that COVID was somehow locked into the material of the weave, the lace front, the wig, whatever. And it made me chuckle. I don't know. I've not received any guidance from CDC or otherwise, but I don't know. Weaves are expensive. Yeah. I would probably want a peer-reviewed journal article really pointing out to me scientifically how the COVID could live in my weave.
The fact that you just called it the COVID, though.
The conversation takes you there.
Can't breathe. I like somebody grandma, the COVID.
And again, that's a part 2.5. How we call it, the Rona, the COVID, like it's this inanimate thing that
oh Lord,
and it gets you.
You can't even script this kind of stuff. Like, yeah. But I think that's the point, though, because it has taken so much from us that And, like you said, weave and things like that, those are expensive. Sew-ins are expensive. You don't want it living in your hair. If it could, we don't know. We get so much misinformation. Who can trust what we're getting? So they're just trying to be extra safe. Wash, you used to talk about washing the gray right out your hair, wash that stress. Wash the COVID right out your hair.
Well, my thing is, what cleansing agent has been proven effective on removing the COVID? Because now what are we cleansing with? But that's another
we found one.
Right.
If we found one.
So what about you? Any others?
Yeah, for me, that's about it. Just what I said, the mask, even glove wearing, right? So we've taken glove wearing a little too far, folks. So, I put a glove on, right, to pump my gas. Mm-hmm. And I make sure that on my one gloved hand, that's what I use to pump my gas. Okay. I use my other hand to slide my card in and out. Don't touch nothing else. Put that up, gloved hand, put my little pin. Take the glove off, sanitize, and you move on. Mm-hmm. What I'm noticing, though, is we're wearing gloves and we're in the grocery store touching any number of things with our gloved hand. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we go to pay and we still got the glove hand on and you're paying and you're receiving and you're touching all your stuff and their stuff and you've never, like these gloves, the glove thing isn't working. Mm-hmm. Just stop. Okay? Just think about it. Mm-hmm. If I got these gloves on and I touch this and then I put this down and it might have had COVID on it. Mm-hmm. I put this down, then I grab my phone. Now I'm texting. I just texted COVID across the waves. Send. The COVID. So yeah, so that's another thing for me is like watching people misuse gloves is disappointing. Because I thought we were better than this. Yeah. Thought we were better than this. So yeah.
We gotta think about it because I don't think that we're near an end. I feel like we're still at the very beginning because now we're going into the uncertain time of the fall. Woo. And just your regular cold flu season, which is really going to be very interesting because even now I know going along and just rounding out this talk about the kind of strange behaviors, the ones around people now, like if you just have sinuses or just a little tickle, I just got a little tickle. I'm not, it's not unto death.
I'm side-eyeing.
Side-eyeing, ready to be put out of an establishment, ready to be like, really taken, hostage. And so I think that that's really funny now because you got people that are like really going to hurt themselves. So they're trying to hold in coughs. They're trying to hold in sickness, right? To avoid the shunning, the public shunning and possible flogging of people.
Yeah. Even in my own household, right? Don't sneeze twice. Yeah. I'll give you grace on that first sneeze.
Right.
Yeah, you okay, bless you. That second sneeze is coming with a look. Right. And an offer to distance yourself.
At an offer. A look at an offer.
Feel free. Right? Because I can't allow it here.
Right.
You're not welcome here.
No.
Right. And so, my kids, I probably get on their nerves because, hey, go wash your hands. Hey, go wash your hands. Hey, go wash your hands. Just because kids, just on GP.
They need that.
Tend to be. So with, the quarantine, we've been in the house a long time. Whew, like I said, trying to disinfect and stay safe. What are some things you've noticed about you? How have you changed in a good way, right? What are some positives that COVID or just 2020 in general has brought your way?
So, I do think that when I think about my life over the last 10 months, I'm really trying to be compassionate and just extend grace. Not because of COVID and because of everything that I feel like has been packaged into this year for us thus far. And I think as a believer, as a woman of faith in God, I just said, Lord, what am I supposed to be learning? And what am I supposed to be exemplifying in the earth? And it's not fear or doubt or anxiety, because, you know, he's not giving us the spirit of fear or worry or doubt or anxiety. And I see that there's so much tension, and we'll probably talk about that on a different episode, but you know, there's fear, worry, and anxiety around people's health. That's everything, right? That affects everything about who you are when you have to live in, you know, when you're not healthy. So there's the fear around that, the fear around others becoming not unhealthy, and then you've got just racial tension. You've got a highly polarized election. All of these things, and I'm learning about me, and what I'm trying to do well is to be gracious to myself, to extend grace to myself, you know, and to extend grace to others. And I think that's one good thing. What about you?
Oh goodness, I would say one good thing that has come out of COVID for me is literally the slow down, the stay-at-home orders, the, you know, shutting down of things really benefited my life. I, again, trying to get 3 kids different places, and everybody got to be on time, and you go. COVID came in and shut that thing down, and I have enjoyed it so much so that it's going to be very hard for me to get convinced to go back to that life. Now that we know we can do dance practice on Zoom, I suggest y'all Zoom right on in there and do it. I'm not driving across town no more, you know. So it's been really beneficial to just slow down.
Yes.
And so we've gotten family time, you know, we know each other really well. You know, to see each other's day to day routine. I see you all day long. You know, so I would say that's definitely been a good thing for me. Kind of wrap up this episode. You know, been talking a lot about, you know, COVID and coronavirus and quarantining and, you know, all these things that we've noticed and, you know, observed behaviors of ourselves or others. But I think one thing that I'll also think about is like self-care. Right. So I mentioned mine just a little bit ago about I feel like I've lost my me time. I feel like you know, I'm constantly surrounded by people. And for somebody like me, I like to be alone. I won't say I don't like people, but I don't know what you would call it otherwise. You know, like I would just, I like being alone. It is nice. So, you know, so self-care, what are some things you're doing to take care of yourself in these times?
Well, I do schedule time to on my calendar for during my lunch break. I was walking. It got aggressively hot here at the noon hour, so I had to do something else. But I try to break up my day with a walk. I try to start my day with worship. Our church has been really great with doing like a 7 a.m. just worship and prayer. And even if I can't, because you know, I have a toddler, so getting her together, getting her ready and those kinds of things, I'm just having that music on in the morning, and then even after she's gone on to preschool is really helpful. And just trying to stay consistent when I do my planning. I'm a planner. I don't know how many people like to plan with the stickers, all of that, happy planners, everything else. Yeah.
You got time, but go ahead.
I love it. So I like to just see that block of time, that weekly spread, and be intentional about setting aside some time to do something for myself, you know. And yeah, so I'm trying to do that. Of course, you're doing it in a much smaller, confined thing, you know, but I feel like seeing and taking moments to just breathe, to reconnect with the Lord has kind of been more of what I'm doing for self-care. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
What's it looking like for you?
It's looking pretty grim. So self-care is an area I struggle with. A lot of people, person that will, you know, give everybody else everything they need when they need it in a quality manner. But I don't necessarily do that for myself. You know, so it's funny because the things that I've found during this, you know, last few months or whatever that I enjoy are also those things that add more to-dos to my list. And so then it gets a little dicey because, again, I'm last on the list. So I took, you know, a creative writing course. I took a stand-up comedy class because I love to learn. I love, doing different things. And so trying to get those creative juices to flowing, but those are just those added Zoom meetings to my life, right? Those added things. And so then they became, more of a burden, less of a joy, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling, struggling to pencil myself in for enjoyable things. So that's kind of my goal. It's going to be, I'm on a mission to do, because I used to, like, travel was my thing. I love to travel. I love going places. I love getting out, and now I can't do that. So I don't know what else to do. We're going to see. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that's a great, I think self-care is so important. And I would, if I could skip a little bit, we usually try to end with a call to action. And I think, Standra, I know people that I know, friends, coworkers who are struggling with that. Because, and then if you think about it, if you have people that are working from home, that are homeschooling kids, if you have people that are furloughed and, they're sitting there trying to find jobs or apply for benefits, it's hard to, in the space of time, be like, what am I going to do to make sure that I'm replenishing my energy, that I'm grounding myself, or whatever that may be for you. And so I think that would be one of the challenges from today's episode, is think about one thing that is easy that you would enjoy to incorporate into your life. It doesn't, even if you can't, there's no way that you can conceive of it doing it every day. But if it's just one day a week, right? I remember a couple of weeks ago, you told me you took a drive to the lake. If it's just changing your surroundings, we're all in our homes, but you could do that, and you did it in a safe way, right? You're in your car, you go somewhere, you can see a whole new, atmosphere and environment, and just take it in and breathe a little bit. Maybe get your favorite coffee or tea and just sit, carve out 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be something, that is, too hard to do. But I think that would be a challenge, a call to action for us all.
Right. So yeah, and so of course, the takeaway from that is to, take care of yourself, right? We gotta take care of ourselves. Another thing that this season has shown us is that life is short. Yes. And you don't necessarily get notification when it's over, right? So you gotta do what you can to enjoy the time you have with the people you have. And so, relationships, like we mentioned, we're together at home together, a lot. And so one thing I noticed though is, we're here, but because we're here all the time, we're not necessarily having any quality interactions, right? We're just kind of here, we watch TV.
Yeah.
So, trying to get back to, my, family game nights, devotionals where we discuss things. Oftentimes now we'll discuss the Sunday sermon, right? So throughout the week, we'll kind of do that. We always eat dinner at the table as a family together. And so those are kind of our check-in times. We haven't necessarily been checking in because we feel like we're around each other all the time, right? I know exactly what you did all day because I was there.
All day.
There. Oh. So yeah, so that's another important thing to remember is just, nurturing your relationships, staying together while you're together.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh, that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's all we have for today's episode. I certainly hope you have been enlightened or entertained at the very least. We want you to get out there, come up with that one thing you're going to do. Yes. That's going to nurture yourself, that's going to replenish your energy, that's going to make you a better person, despite the things that hashtag 2020 is bringing our way. Our next episode, we're just going to continue this conversation, talking about, things that 2020 has given us. We still have much more content to come, so please stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, whatever the case may be, do that. Tyra, you got anything?
I don't. Thanks for being with us. You guys stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.